Yo, welcome in, man. It is Sunday night, December the 8th, and it's only one game on the board for tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into it early. Toronto Raptors will be hosting the New York Knickerbockers. They're home dogs. But before we do that, I always start the show with a recap. Sunday, I gave out, I did the show, gave out 2 official plays. A brutal 0-2 day. Sundays just don't treat me right for whatever reason, man. I didn't even force anything afterwards. I had only went through 4 games. First play ended up being Philly team total over 117.5, which looked promising in the first half. They had 62 points at halftime, and then just really failed to score the basketball against a really bad Chicago Bulls defense in the third and fourth quarter. So that ended up being the loser. I think they got to like 109 or something like that. And then the second game was the under between the Bucks and the Nets. Nets allowed the Bucks to shoot above 50% from the field, which they have been really great defensively. Same thing on the opposite side. The Brooklyn Nets shoot the ball really, really well against the Milwaukee Bucks. So we got some CLV on both plays. Both plays are CLV trash kings. Both of them end up losing. So try to do a little bit better in this game. Not sure if I'm going to actually bet it, just being completely transparent with you guys. It had been a really good couple of days in a row in the NBA, turning some profit, but step back in the wrong direction. Just glad that it wasn't as bad as it was last Friday. So at least we're making a little progress. Let's jump into it. So I will do a completely separate video, kind of breaking down Jackson's angle on the game. I think that'll be helpful for this video. We won't really talk too much about Jackson. We'll just kind of keep this to the side and get into the matchup for this game that we have coming up. So let's do just that, man. Let's just jump right into it. We have the Toronto Raptors, like I said, home dogs getting 6 points, at least currently. This line opened at 4, so money coming in on the Knicks to bounce back in this spot, and I think the total is trending upwards as well. So what do we have? First thing you got to always check is the injury report. We know Karl-Anthony Towns did not play against the Detroit Pistons the other day with some left knee soreness. It's going to be interesting to see if he plays in this game. Him and Campaign are both listed as questionable. Brunson was questionable in that last game as well. He has been removed from the injury report. He did play the full game. As far as the Toronto Raptors, they got Kelly Olynyk back in their last game. They got Grady Dick back in their last game. Grady Dick shot the ball really, really well from the three-point line. So some offensive pieces come back in that game. And then you look at the situational spots for the Knicks. First and foremost, playing off one day's rest. It's a standalone road game for them after 4 straight home games. They got a big cup game. It'll be interesting to see if they look forward to that cup game. They do got a game against the Atlanta Hawks on Tuesday at MSG, back at MSG in a cup game. So potential really big look-ahead spot. They are 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games. The Knicks offense has been really, really good. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. And then Toronto, also one day's rest. This is the last of a 5-game homestand for them. Back-to-back losses. But they have faced some really good teams in this stretch that they played recently. I know they played Miami twice. They had the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are the best team as far as point differential in the NBA right now. Then they had Dallas. Dallas came in, I think, 9-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 10 games. And it doesn't get any easier with a Knicks team that's probably going to be a little pissed after losing to the Detroit Pistons outright in a game that Cade had a humongous triple-double. So looking at the spot, the Knicks they have played well in Toronto. They play well against this team, whether the game has been Toronto or New York. They've won 6 of the last 10. They've covered 4 straight as well versus Toronto. And last 2 were in Toronto. Well, the 2 in Toronto and the 2 in New York. They've covered both. So I'm going through the game and I'm looking at the first thing that kind of jumps out to me is the Knicks home versus road splits. I've talked about this before throughout the seasons. If you guys have watched the video, the Knicks at home versus on the road. At home, offensively, they're great. Defensively at home, they're absolutely amazing. They're giving up just 106 points per game, which is 7th in the NBA when they are playing at home. But on the road, they're giving up nearly 116 points per game. That's 18th. So defense takes a big step back. That's important because Toronto scores much better at home. They're 14th in scoring at the crib, 116 points per game, versus just 109 on the road, which is bottom 10 in the NBA. So Toronto scores a lot more at home, scores worse on the road. Knicks defense worse on the road than it is at home. From a trends perspective, the Knicks haven't been that profitable on the road. Just 5-7 against the number. They are +1 in point differential with back-to-back non-covers against Charlotte and Dallas in their last 2 road games. So something to take into consideration if you like the Knicks. They actually failed to cover 3 of their last 4 on the road. Toronto has won 12. Has won half of their 12 home games this season. So they're 6-6 straight up, but super profitable if you're taking them on the spread. They've covered 9 of their 12 games. Their 75% ATS win percentage is actually 3rd best behind only the Orlando Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers so far this season. So Toronto, they have been covering, at the crib. They covered against Dallas as well in their last game. So they've been much more competitive at the crib. When I match the 2 teams up on the floor, I'm looking at a Knicks team that shoots a ton of threes, 5th in corner 3 frequency, but about middle of the pack overall in 3-point frequency in general. They're shooting the highest percentage from the 3-point line over their last 5 games at 45%. Defensively, Toronto has been middle of the pack, defending the 3-point line. They didn't defend it well against the Dallas Mavericks at all. Luka and Kyrie both hit 6 threes in that game, and Toronto gave up, I think it was 17 threes altogether to the Dallas Mavericks. And the Knicks going to shoot just that many threes as well. You look at the Knicks, they haven't really pushed the pace that much, which is good for Toronto because Toronto has been a bottom 10 transition defense in their last 5 games. And then we flip it and we look at Toronto's offense versus the Knicks defense. Toronto is bottom 10 offense. I think they're right at 20th in points scored per 100 possessions over the last 10 games. The Knicks have been the 2nd best defensive team over the last 5 games, but like I said, essentially their last 5 games have all been at the crib. So they haven't been that great defensively. If there is a weakness for New York defensively, it is that they are bottom 10 in opponent rebound percentage, which could be a big advantage for Toronto. We know that with Jakob Poeltl back in the lineup after missing that game against OKC due to illness, Toronto's one thing that they do well on the offensive end and consistently is offensive rebound to basketball. Toronto does like to attack the rim, score in the paint, as their 3-point shooting hasn't been that great recently, but they did get Grady Dick back in that last game, and he hit a ton of threes. I think it was 5 threes, 6 threes, or something like that in the last game. So that's going to help Toronto, I think, a lot in this spot as well. Toronto isn't playing with much pace. You got a Knicks team that's been one of the better top 5 transition defenses in the league, which kind of leads me towards, potentially under in this spot. Both of these teams started off really slow. Toronto was down, I think, double digits in the game against Dallas in the first half. The Knicks were down double digits against Detroit in the first half. And Jalen Brunson was kind of asked about it. He said that the game starts at 7:30. We got to be ready to play at 7:30, which is interesting because I feel like Toronto played better in the first half as well. So I really was thinking about maybe Knicks early. Can't quite get there. And then you got the other narratives in the game, of course. RJ Barrett, revenge game. OG Anunoby, revenge game. Precious Ochoa, revenge game. So a lot of different ways you can kind of, look at, playing this game. And there's other guys too that I know I'm probably missing because of the trade. Quickly won't play, but, if Quickly is playing, you can say a Quickly revenge game as well. I'm looking at the game, and ultimately, this is what I land on. I think it's a Toronto spot. So we need Cat to not play if you like Toronto, in my opinion. If he doesn't play though, that's 25 points and 13 rebounds that'll be missing. In Saturday's loss, the New York Knicks started Jericho Sims. He played 6 minutes, didn't score a point, didn't get a rebound. He was a -9 in those 6 minutes. Precious Ochoa came in, played 27 minutes off the bench. He's returning to to face his old team as well, but Lons probably won't even be available from a player prop perspective. So yeah, I think Toronto can keep this game within the number. I would play it at the last minute as it looks like the money is coming in on the Knicks and pushing this number up from 4 up to 6. I also see 6.5 available as well, but I need to know the status of not just Karl-Anthony Towns, but also campaign. I think the Knicks depth has been something that's been questionable. Role players don't typically play as well on the road either. So I think the Knicks, without campaign, definitely without Karl-Anthony Towns, I think they'd be hurting a little bit in this spot. If Cat does play, from a player prop perspective, if he does play, his rebounds and assist line, I think, should be pretty good money here. I think it was -129. I think that's worth a look. He's cleared his rebounds and assist line in 7 straight games and 9 of the last 10. He's averaging 17.7 rebounds and assists, but the line's only set at 14.5. He's going up and over that in every game except the game that they played in Phoenix about 2 weeks ago. Toronto plays at a faster pace than the Knicks do, so if Toronto dictates pace, that could be more rebound chances, more assists opportunities for Karl Anthony Towns. The rebounds will be needed against Jakob Poeltl and a scrappy Toronto team that loves to attack the glass. So I like rebounds and assists for Karl Anthony Towns at 14.5. And then on the opposite side, we'd be remiss without mentioning Scottie Barnes. His rebounds and assists have consistently been cashing as well. He's coming off a career-high 14 assist game against the Dallas Mavericks on Saturday night. Scottie's up and over this rebounds and assist line at 15.5 in 6 of his last 7 games, 7 out of 10 games that he's played on the season so far. He's averaging right at 18 rebounds and assists. So the line being at 15.5 feels like it's a little bit of room for margin for him in this spot. He's averaged 15 potential assists in his last 5 games and 7 of his last 8 games. And he's also had 13 rebound chances in 7 of his last 10 games as well this season. So, if I had to play the game, I only think that this, like I said, from a player prop perspective, I like Scottie Barnes rebounds and assists. I like Karl Anthony Towns rebounds and assists as well. Interestingly enough, I like 2 rebounds and assist props. But if I'm playing the side, like I said, I do think with the big cup game on deck, the Knicks not playing as well on the road, I think it's only one way I will be able to look in this game, and that would be towards the Toronto Raptors, which is here, plus the 6.5. You can get a 6.5. Talked about Cat rebounds and assists and Scottie Barnes. So this is the way that I would play it if I'm playing anything. If you guys are playing anything, best of luck on your action. I'm not doing a show. Like I said, when this video airs, it'll be the show for today. Then Tuesday, we got cup games. Only 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday. So we'll lock in, see if we can get some action for the cup, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in as always. Resources that I use to handicap the games are here. If you're interested, check them out. Moneyballer, Jackson, Ozjam. Referral codes in the description of the video for all. Just referral codes in the description of the video for links to all of these referrals. So all the different resources. Check them out if you guys are interested. Best of luck on whatever it is that you are betting on this beautiful Monday. And I will catch you guys in the next one.